committee, House Investigative Committee to investigate compliance with audit numbers 19-12 and 21-01. Today is January 27, 2022. This is the 4:00 p.m. meeting of the committee, both in person or via video conference. Conference room 325. I'm going to take off one of my masks so it's a little bit clearer. Okay. And I have to my right, Vice Chair Ichiyama and Chair Tarnas. To my left, I have Chair Kobayashi, and on Zoom, we have Representatives Amy Perruso and Representative Val Okimoto. Thank you, representatives, for joining on via Zoom. Also just joining us to my right is Chair Mark Hashem. Members, very quickly, we've circulated a draft to all members of the committee. Our drafters have done independent review. One of our staff members in HMSO did one review through it, and we have some changes to make that are going to be some formatting changes where we're going to flip the commentary and the recommendations within each of the subsections for better readability. But there was also a section, members, as highlighted in the draft that we showed you, some language that was still not quite finalized on the updating of leases and rents. And so we've smoothed that out a little bit. And I want to acknowledge also joining us is Representative Yamashita. So members, what we're going to do is we're going to notice another meeting for tomorrow at 2:00 p.m. here in this room and via Zoom to vote out the final report and to give our drafters another day to just finalize as much as possible the final report. The report will be filed by January 29th, pursuant to the extension that we did receive from the speaker. So are there any questions on this, members?
Chair, just quick.
Yes.
Since there's a lead time for noticing the meeting, do we just recess and then reconvene tomorrow?
Our rules say each meeting has to be noticed by place, time, and date.
So we can do that?
We can do this pursuant to our rules. We don't have a...
Okay, so there's not like a long lead time for that? Okay,
no.
Great.
So pursuant to our rules, we can notice the meeting, and my staff has already prepared the notice, so it will be dropping shortly for 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay. No, if there are no questions about that, members, we do have one additional procedural matter that came up. Hold on, let me get it on my computer, which has now gone blank. Members, I had a request from reporter Dan Nakaso of the Star Advertiser for a copy of our draft report. This request came into us on January 20th. I wanted to apprise the committee of this request. We had our attorneys look at it. At this request, we have 10 business days in which to respond. We were advised that pursuant to 92F-13(5), our draft report is excluded from disclosure under our laws, and what's excluded from disclosure are draft working papers of legislative committees, of which we are one, which includes budget worksheets and unfiled committee reports, work product records or transcripts of an investigating committee of the legislature, which are closed by rules adopted pursuant to section 21-4, and the personal files of members of the legislature. Because we are a chapter 21 committee, and this is applicable to us, my recommendation is going to be to deny this request. Members of the public, including members of the media, will have our final report. But because of this provision in our statutes, I'm going to deny the request. Any comments, members? Any comments?
Sure, I could just, go ahead.
Okay, I see Rep. Perruso. Rep. Perruso, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just like to say that
Rep. Perruso, you may be muted.
I don't think so. Oh wait, I'm not muted.
Okay, go ahead.
So I think that normally my principle is that I favor transparency in all things. But I will say that it feels a bit uncomfortable to have committee working papers be subject to public scrutiny when the conversations that we're having, I mean, we are having public conversations and those are also, you know, delicate and difficult. But I think that there's so much influx in our draft work that frankly, I worry that people will be held politically accountable for taking positions that are unpopular before we reach a consensus or a compromise or a shared position. So I think this is a really difficult question. And I think that if it wasn't committee work, I would favor full transparency, but looking forward, if we have additional investigatory committees, these Chapter 21 committees, I think that they should be able to have conversations and a back and forth. Like I've really benefited from the conversations that we've had that, and also like the work on shared documents that I don't think we would have had such open conversations amongst colleagues if we felt like we could have been punished politically for those arguments. So I think it's a complicated question, but those are my thoughts.
No, thank you, Representative Perruso. I think you capture precisely one of the reasons why draft working papers are excluded from disclosure. I saw Chair Tarnas, go ahead.
Thanks. You know, just as a pragmatic matter, you know, I've had part of my career as a technical writer and editor, and we're so within days of having a final report. It would just be far better for everybody to see the final report where it's a clean version. There's not multiple versions out there. So let's just get the final report done and release that. I think that's the best way to proceed.
All right, thank you. Any other further comments? I think this is a good discussion, and I do put into this like as Representative Perruso said, in the context of future Chapter 21 investigatory committees that we don't know what they will be doing and how they will be handling their procedures, but they will have to follow HRS Chapter 21. Go ahead, Vice Chair.
I just want to say, Chair, I appreciate your recommendation and that you've consulted with our House attorneys. I think that it's wise to take their counsel, not only for this committee, but also because I think, like you said, future committees, but also standing committees of the House of Representatives. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, members. All right, if there's no further discussions or business of this committee, we will adjourn and re-adjourn for our next noticed meeting at 2 p.m. tomorrow in this room and via Zoom. Mahalo. Thank you all. We are adjourned.